Hi, I'm Bill from CJ Pony Parts. It's hard to believe the S197 chassis is over 10 model years old now, and a lot of these cars on the road have racked up a decent amount of mileage. This 06 GT behind me is used quite often for road rallies. It's racked up around 100,000 miles, and the front suspension is starting to show some signs of wear. We're going to start by replacing the ball joints. We decided we're going to take it up a notch and install these complete front control arm assemblies from Ford Racing. These Ford Racing front control arms are an excellent upgrade for any 2005 to 2010 Mustang GT or V6. What these are the original equipment control arms used on the GT 500s from 07 through 09, making it a much stronger part than the factory V6 or GT piece. What makes these different is going to be the ball joint for starters. It's going to be a very strong, low friction ball joint. You use the seam stamped steel control arm. That's why it's a direct replacement for your factory GT arm, but on the inside, it's a much stronger nylon bushing. These are a great upgrade, like I said, for any kind of stock or modified suspension, 05 through 2010 GT or V6. For this installation, you'll need a lift or a jack and jack stands, half-inch ratchet, 15mm socket, 18mm socket, 18mm wrench, 21mm wrench, pry bar, and a mallet. Before we begin the installation, you want to unlock your steering column. Make sure it's unlocked, and we'll show you why later. To install the lower control arms, you'll want to start by getting the car up in the air and get the front wheel off. What we're going to do is separate the control arm from the spindle here, and then from the frame rail here, and back here. This is going to be a nut and bolt, same thing here, and then 2 bolts on the top back here. We're going to start with a nut and bolt, hold the control arm to the spindle. Spray a little bit of penetrating lubricant in there to make it a little bit easier to get this out. I'm just going to try to kind of work it free with a pry bar, get a little bit looser. And get the spindle clear of it, and then move on to the inside bolts. Now we're going to remove the nuts for the rear part of the control arm. These are going to take a 21mm wrench. You're not going to get a socket in there. Best thing to do is use the old 2-wrench trick so you can get enough torque on it to remove it. This is why you want to leave your steering column unlocked. What you'll need to do is turn all the way to the right to get clearance for this bolt. Sometimes it may not clear and you may have to unbolt the rack to get this out, but you want to try it first. This way it's a lot easier. When moving this, you don't have to worry about the nut on the other side as it's welded to the frame. Remove the stock control arm. I'm going to put a little grease now on the actual cross member itself and on the spindle, make everything go back together a little bit easier. We'll get our new control arm up into place. We'll try to get everything back into place, starting with the front bolt. See, that started a couple turns to hold it in place. I'll move on to both of the rear nuts and bolts. The install tight, now we can get the ball joint into the spindle. Use a mallet to get the rest of the way in. It's actually a slot in the ball joint for the bolt to come through. So it doesn't come through all the way. Just make sure you line that up, then the bolt will go through. Now we can tighten it back down. I'll repeat the process on the other side and your installation's finished. The Ford Racing GT 500 control arms are definitely an excellent upgrade for your 2005 to 2010 Mustang GT or V6. Replacing the entire arm is going to be a lot easier than replacing just the ball joint, plus you get the benefit of the new higher quality bushings on the chassis side. The installation for both arms will take you around 3 hours. Be back on the road in no time.